Okay, up here in the park, and this site right here is the site of the old McElwain iron ore mine, and later which became Tennessee Coal and Iron Company's No.15 mine site. And this is on the south side of the mountain, and right here, right past where that information sign, or what is supposed to be an information sign, is the terminus right here of the old Birmingham Mineral Railroad bed. Right here, this is a, they turned the rail bed into a walking trail, which is real nice. They did a really good job of that. And what you've got right here, the mine, is straight up that way. Of course, it's closed. And what you would have had back in the day, I think maybe this mine ceased operations maybe 1915 or something, because they ran into a huge fault line way underground, where the iron ore seam hits a fault, it just drops. And I think they just terminated it, and they enhanced all the working, all the underground workings for the No.14 mine, which is on the other side of this big finger right here. But this is right here, I think this is the, there's no diagrams. I don't even think anybody's been able to find a picture of what this mine looked like back then. But the big stone foundation right there, I think that's where they had the steam compressor and maybe the hoist for the mine right here, because everything was steam powered, coal powered. And so this right here is one of the old culverts, stone culverts of the Birmingham Mineral Railroad right here. So it's very unique. I think this was constructed maybe in the early 1890s, this branch line, maybe late 1880s, probably late 1880s. But this right here is the stone, the stone foundation of the compressor, or the boiler and hoist foundation right here. And maybe one day they'll get some signs up here explaining just how everything operated. But you can see the remains of the iron rods right there with the threads, would have held it in the machinery right there. So and I think this was some big flywheel or something. Not really sure. Not an expert on this. But anyway, this goes back over 100 years, 120 years minimum. You can see that it has some porous concrete right there. So, and the mine is just right up here, but the rail bed is right there. And most likely, like the other mines, they would have had some huge wooden loading dock, tramway rails. I don't think they had a ore crusher here, because there would be some kind of foundation. So it's probably just raw ore, bulk raw ore brought out of this mine. And it was broken down when they took it to whichever furnace this was contracted to before TCI. So, but the Birmingham Mineral Railroad, L&N's division, Birmingham division, they handled this. And the mine is right up here. So, all right. Okay, this right here is the McElwain Iron Ore Mine, TCI No.15. Right here. This is the remains of it, and it didn't have a concrete, facing. It was just cut straight in to the into the side of the mountain, and this went down way over 1,000 feet before they hit that fault line, and they just terminated it. It would have been too much work to dig another tunnel and go down into the fault. But a buddy of mine, Mr. Newman, he put this sign up here, and I was off by a little bit. from 1892 to 1910. So that's when it closed, 1910. So, all right, but that right here, this right here was the mine opening, and they would have had a tramway, wooden tramway coming up. And straight up there, you can't really tell, but that's the tramway path that it would have taken. And up there in the woods, can't really see it in the summertime, but up there in the woods are the remains of the hoist cable sheave pillar. And there would have been a huge hoist cable that would have gone straight up, wrapped around what's called a sheave pillar that would have been anchored with a giant pulley wheel. And it would have just come straight down in here to the mine. And they would have pulled the ore cars straight up and then switched them off to a probably big elevated wooden loading dock. And that's how they got the mine cars out. So this is a similar operation that they Sloss really developed at the Ruffner mines, and this was actually done at the number 13 and 14 mines before 1900, or they operated exclusively on the south side of the mountain until the mines started getting deeper and they needed bigger equipment, bigger cables, and they moved everything to the north side of the mountain, where the remains are today. But this right here, it's hard to imagine. It just would have been a tremendous, huge wooden loading dock. And the Birmingham Mineral Railroad, I'm sure they just would have backed the open rail cars all the way down this switch from the main line, which a lot of the trails in the park are on the actual rail beds. But this is the number 15 mine right here, old McElwain Mine. So, okay, and these were actually drift mines. They kind of go up there and kind of terminate near the top of the mountain, but these were actually open at one time. These were big drift mines to go right in towards the iron ore scene. So, hard to imagine what it used to look like I said, 120 years ago. So, okay. Okay, just one final video here for this little section on the number 15 mine, the McElwain Mine up here at the park. Is this cut right here is the Birmingham Mineral Railroad. This is the terminus of the spur line coming off the south branch. It came all the way up into this ravine here. And like I said, they probably had a huge, long wooden timber trestle system and ore chutes right here. But the reason this is so wide is that there was a siding right here. This is big enough for 2 sets of rail cars, 2 sets of rails right here. So one of this would have been the siding for the Birmingham Mineral and L&N to drop off empty ore cars, rail cars. And then they would come back and pick them up whenever they were filled up and drop off empty ones. But it's so wide right here. This is why it's so wide, is because you had a siding right here where they could disconnect the empty open rail cars for the ore to be deposited in them before they were taken to the furnace, and they would drop off empties when they returned. The engineers, the railroad engineers and locomotive operators. So, and the trail just follows the rail bed all the way around. But it's a nice trail. They did a really good job on this. So, okay, well, that's it for that.